Oh, shoot. Hi, everyone. What's up? It's Jen. This is Peggy. How's it going? We are so excited to be doing, sorry, my show's a little bit late, but it's because I was jetting over here to Peggy's house, beautiful home. I don't even know what city are we in?
We're in Holiday.
We're in Holiday. We're in Holiday in Utah, you guys. I'm touring around Utah. It's really fun. So Peggy I have on today, but I am so excited getting to know Peggy. Just so you guys know, I'm Jen, CEO of I Love My Body Diet, and my goal is 1 million women strong, just to empower and strengthen women into their value, to understand their value. Hey, Chris. Hey, Deanna. So what we're going to do, I know, Jen.
Thanks for joining us.
So, hey.
Deanna, thanks.
I know. So Peggy actually is going to be doing with her husband. They are the duo team of Becoming One. Absolutely amazing. She is a relationship mentor, actually, her and her husband both. And so we're going to just chill and talk to her and really want to get into the nitty gritty a little bit about relationships and really talk about, I know I love what you were talking about this morning about why are we really not doing the work that we need to be doing around relationships? So we're going to be talking about that stuff. So this is Peggy, you guys.
Hi, everybody.
She's going to be doing a workshop, by the way, that's what I'm saying, for our love shops for the quickening next weekend. So super excited to have you get to know you.
I'm excited.
I know.
Yeah, so my husband and I, David, are going to be doing a love shop together about relationships. And he's a psychotherapist, has been for 20 years, and I'm a journey practitioner, which is a healing modality I've done for a long time. We've done a lot of healing events for people and a lot of healing retreats and individual work. And can I tell them a little bit about how we got here?
I want you to tell them everything. I'm going to scoot this up just a tiny bit to make sure that you guys can hear us. Show me Peggy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're showing you Peggy.
Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so about in early 2015, my husband David and I, he's been transitioning big time in his work, wanting to do more of the personal development stuff and less just therapy, individual work, because he's really an entrepreneur and he's created a lot of amazing retreats for people for healing, and I've also been involved in that too. So we were both working on this transition and how it was going to go, and he had been writing his second book, and it became obvious. Both of us came together at this one moment, and we both came to the same conclusion at the same time and said, look, we're not going anywhere until we deal with what's going on between us. So we did a lot of work with men separately, him with men and me with women, and we crossed over a lot, but it's like you have your stuff, his stuff, and then you have the relationship. But what we teach, though, is for all relationships and not just for couples. But so we realized that we had to do something, and he had been working on something that had come to him as he'd been working on his book, and he had this relationship grid, and he said, why don't we go and put ourselves on this relationship grid?
So you were going to put yourselves on.
You
both were going to do it. Okay, I love it. Do your work, right?
Do your own work.
I love it.
So I was like, okay, let's try it. And he'd been trying it out with some men's groups that he had been working with, and it was incredible what was happening with them. So I got on this with him, and we put a particular issue we'd had off and on over the years that we'd never really figured out. I mean, we kind of moved through it, and we were able to deal with it, kind of, but we never really
existing in
it.
That's
a great way to say it. And I was stunned. I was stunned at what I learned about myself. I was stunned at what I learned about because I thought that he's a really dynamic person, and he's super smart. And I've always had a lot of self-doubt. And I always thought he was the one that had the power in the relationship. And what I found out was that
Oh, I love that, Peggy.
I found out that I was the one that I was in the powerful position, not power as in power over, but I was standing in a powerful place. And it just shifted my whole perspective about myself. And it was just this huge aha for me. And it was less than 4 hours, and the 4 hours was him just teaching me how the relationship grid worked. And then us looking at it and going, where are you, where am I, what happened? You know, we did it in physical space, and it was just this, I was like, oh my gosh. And then it was within 2 weeks of that, he was going to be working with just with individuals with some of these tools, and then all of a sudden it became obvious that we were supposed to work with couples. And this one little breadcrumb after another just dropped, and we're like, oh my gosh. And within 2 days he was speaking at an event, and we had our website, we had our name, we had our promo stuff, and it was up.
Meant to be.
Yeah, meant to be. So now we've been on this journey for about 1.5 years. Well, no, it's actually really been mostly a year. So, and just a lot of, as all of you probably know, when you start to shift up, when you start to change, move to a different place, there's a lot of stuff to learn, right? A lot of.
It never ends.
Yeah, a journey. It's such a journey.
Hence the name of your, right? I mean, the name of what you, part of what you do.
Right. Yeah, it's called The Journey. Yeah,
I love
it's about journeying into wholeness. And so my husband and I are about journeying into wholeness in your relationships. Deanna, I need to find out one of those men.
I need to find one of those men.
It's her.
I know, Deanna, that's right.
We gotta find those men.
Deanna's coming to the quickening, so she's flying from far away.
I know.
To come to our quickening.
I know, that's super exciting.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a really fascinating journey, and to watch people use the tools that we've been teaching them, and all the ahas that come fast.
So like, what kind of ahas, when you're talking about ahas, I mean, first of all, you're talking about this grid. So I don't know what the heck you're talking about when you're talking about a grid. I mean, I know about grids, but I don't know if you want to explain that, or if you even want to explain that here. I would love to know if you can. And then what ahas are people having? I mean, it sounded like you had this aha, like your power. You realized you had power, like your PowerPoint or something I'm getting. But what is it that you...
So let me just briefly say the relationship grid is something that if you put your relationship in physical space, it shows you how you handle power and connection. Okay. And it's an actual grid. Okay. And we put it, when we do our couples retreat, every couple has their own grid, and they work on that grid.
Wow.
It's really, really amazing, because everybody talks a lot about, energy and what's energy, and do you clear energy, and are you... What's really fascinating is when you put your relationship on, or any relationships on this grid, it has a certain energy in different spaces on the grid. So it's very felt, but it's also very cognitive. You can see it.
Huge.
You can understand it on a level that it's super hard, don't you think? It's kind of hard, especially for guys, to understand relationships and feelings and
well, again, that's more of a feminine. Emotions are the feminine, right? And the mind and the thoughts are the masculine. So it sounds like you've coupled those two. Maybe that's the power too that you and your husband have together, is to couple these two aspects of self.
Yes, absolutely. And that's part of what I think is so amazing about it. The ahas, there's a couple at our last retreat that said they had been married for 10 years, and halfway through the first day, they were like, oh my gosh, this is the first time we felt safe enough to talk about this issue in 10 years. They haven't talked for 10 years about this issue.
Wow, that's huge.
But creating safety is huge. And so when you have the right instruments to do that, you can actually move forward. You can see things. It's kind of like when you know how to work out properly, you can actually, or you know what to eat, what your body really needs, you can actually do what you need to do. It's the lack of knowledge, not being able to see, I think, that keeps people from working on their relationships. They can't, it's too hard. Well, they can't see. You know what I mean?
I love that. And they say ignorance is bliss, but I don't believe that. It's not, because bliss, but really ignorance does keep us in a certain safe space that we are. But to actually get more conscious, and you're bringing people to this awareness and educating them.
Right.
But it sounds like you're educating them in their own world, meaning it's not like you're just standing up there educating somebody, but you're actually giving them something that they can step into with their own relationships, their own issues, their own everything, and educating them personally.
Absolutely.
Which is so empowering.
It's very empowering. It's very specific to you. But the principles are universal. It's not like we've introduced new principles. However, these are not things that you're taught. Even in a therapist's office, they do not teach these things. They talk about them, you're talked around them, but the tools that we've got, you actually can use them. You can do something with them.
So what's your husband's background, really quick, just because he came up with this grid, correct? I mean, he's one, So what is tell me really quick if you don't mind for us really quick.
David Matheson, he is a licensed psychotherapist. He's worked for 20 years doing that. He's worked mostly with men, which is a super plus for us women because he super gets our husbands.
I love it. Love it.
And then of course he's worked with me, and he's worked with women too. But his main focus has been with men and helping them feel empowered. Sorry, my phone's on. I need to turn my
We like the little birdies. I wish I could actually have everybody see what's outside there.
gosh.
We're looking at you guys, I have to show you really fast. And you can see it. But look at how gorgeous their backyard is. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we're looking at right now
Yeah,
as we're
it's
doing this video.
beautiful.
So let me back over to us.
So if you know anybody who wants a beautiful home and a holiday, we're selling it actually. So just a little plug there.
I know. There you go.
Anyway,
It's gorgeous here.
So
Anyway, so he's a psychotherapist. He's been working with men for 20 years.
Right.
And so through his work and through what he saw that was needed and maybe missing, is that part of where this was created and how this was created?
Yeah, well,
part of it, I'm sure.
He actually was writing a book about the 20. I wanted to answer Deanna's question. Yes, he has a brother and he's married. Sorry about that. I've had so many women ask me that over the years.
He's very cute too. So
How
yes,
do
he
you
has
get
a
both
brother.
couples to talk? One does and one does not. This is absolutely one of the things we talk about. Now, Deanna, I hope you're going to come to our workshop on Thursday night at the Quickening, because we're going to teach foundational tools for all relationships. It's not just for couples. So
That's wonderful.
So these are like
For your next-
these are
for
like
your next
super,
one, Deanna.
super important for us to be aware of, and we're just not. But it happens. All the things we're going to teach you on Thursday night, it happens in every single interaction we have in relationships. And we don't even realize it. So when you start connecting what's going on in the conscious mind, and you show, hey, this is what's really going on, and then you connect it with your heart or the deeper work, it moves you forward so much faster in your relationships.
And who doesn't want that? And also with ease. Because don't you think that that's something when we're not conscious sometimes, and it's like we're pushing against something so hard that has no give.
Right.
But when like what you just said, when we're conscious and then we're connecting to our hearts, it's like we move right through something. There may be a little give just from past or habits or whatever, but it sounds like we can move right through it. So how neat. It's like more ease. Right?
Absolutely.
And without all the drama, like we talked about in the title.
Well, and we spend a lot of time talking about drama, about relationship drama, and why we go into it. Deanna, Alicia, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi, Alicia.
Deanna, even though you're going through a divorce,
I think it would be the best time. Because I went through a divorce.
Here's the truth. You are still going to be in your relationship with him if you have kids together.
Yes, we do, I know that.
I mean, if you don't, you can really cut that off and change. But the truth is that the tools that we teach are for all relationships. And we actually are working on our second retreat is going to be for individuals. And my hope is that we will get people there that are divorced and still have kids together. And they're trying to make those relationships work. Not work to be intimate, but work to be happy
and peaceful
as you interact, because you're going to have to. So and seriously, for if you're looking to another relationship down the road, this is highly valuable information for you to know about yourself and to know about other people, so that you can change and not go into the same kind of drama in the next relationship, which happens so many times.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the time when you do get divorced, and through the divorce period, at least for me it was, that's the time that I did some of the hardest work, was during that time, because I didn't want to go into something. I wanted to go into something totally new, with a new perception, new understanding, new learnings. And so to me, that would be the most important time if you're going through divorce or in a divorce or divorced, is to do something like, obviously to keep you from being getting divorced.
Right.
But I'm just saying that would be such a great time to do it. But anyway, not to stay on that. So when you say again, you talked about safety, that safety is something that you gain.
Super important.
Sounds like clarity, you get better communication. Some of these ahas.
Oh, absolutely, communication, because you see each other differently. All of a sudden, the ahas are recognizing how you're showing up in the relationship and why the other person's been doing what they've been doing, and going, oh my gosh, we can do something different because you see it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like you can see, it like gives you a choice. So one of the times I feel like we don't really have choices in our relationships. We're working so hard, and I think especially women, we really are working hard. And
we work really hard.
We work really hard. We're trying to figure it out. But this just like takes the lid off. It's kind of like, you know, when you go to the doctor and something's wrong and he says, we got to take an x-ray or an MRI and figure out see what this is. And then he can see it and he can say, this is what we need to do because this is what we're dealing with. That's what we do for relationships. And for all relationships, not just couples. So.
But I think too, a lot of times people do so much work separate. But you and this is what I love what you're talking about too, is your work, even though people may, like you're going to do an individual retreat, your work is still working separate, but the intention, it sounds like, is that you can have healthy relationships, whether it is in your marriage or whatever. So whether you're doing the work separate, whether women or men come to your event or your retreat or come to your workshop or whatever they're doing, they are going to benefit in whatever relationship they're, like you said.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you can go separate. You can go by yourself to these things that you're going to be doing, because the intention underneath is that they do have this healthy relationship with their spouse or whoever it is.
Right.
Right?
Well,
and they'll see things different.
Right.
You're getting it.
Absolutely. Well, here's what the foundation of all of this relationship work is that we're all in a system.
Ooh, I like that.
We're in a system. We're in a system. It's kind of like the Matrix.
Ooh,
We're
I
all
like
in a
that.
system, and we don't realize we're pushing and pulling, and everything we do in the system is affecting the system. That's why the tools we teach create safety, because nobody's at fault.
I love it.
It's not about who's at fault. It's about seeing the system and looking at my part and what can I do. Because honestly, one of the things I really, really learned through my own work is that when I show up differently in my relationship, it changes things.
Amen to that.
And it might change things. It might create a lot of uncomfortableness because we're all comfortable in the way we've been living our lives. But we know that that's got to happen. We've got to move through that discomfort in order to really shift things. But that power is within me to change things. And that power is within all single women to change how they show up in all of their relationships. And when you start to do that, you start to draw different people to you. You know, that whole kind of like, when you change your thinking, you change your life kind of thing. Well, when you change the system and how you show up in the system, but you've got to see, in my opinion, it's so much more helpful to learn and do it quickly, to learn the tools and see underneath all of that stuff you can't see, you don't understand, be able to get to the core of it, shift it at that level and say, I am consciously choosing to show up differently. And it does powerful things.
Well, you know, I do. That's what I've been so aware of since I worked with Beth Banning and Neil Gibson and was trained in insight coaching, because that's really what they teach also, is this deeper empathetic communication, but also, again, the value-based living. And it's funny because when you start, and so it kind of sounds like there's a system that they're working on, just, I mean, obviously not the same, but when you really take out the blame and take out the judgment and you start really looking at that inside and you see the limiting beliefs and you do these things, and then you start coming from the space of value, and that's what I found in my life, it really does shift. And you can be in relationships that were toxic before, they're not toxic anymore.
Right, because it's not about you being bad or
or them either.
Or them either.
Right, there's no more of that.
We're trying to figure this out. Everybody's trying to do the best they can.
I mean, actually, even that was something that I put on a post. I don't need to figure you out. You don't need to figure me out. All we need to do is listen and love. And what I meant by that was, I mean, obviously we're figuring things out, but we don't need to really judge one another. And so I love that you're talking about that there is this system. There's something that we all can step into and really start understanding.
Right.
And have that language even.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like there's a language that you're even teaching.
Yeah.
That people maybe don't know.
Yes, absolutely. Some people may have heard of it, but I mean, if you've heard of projections, transferences, drama, maturity, I mean, those are some of the words we use. The other thing that's really, really, really cool is that most of the couples that have kids want to use this with their kids.
Huge.
And there are people who have used this with their kids, just kind of describing it and showing them a picture, and their kids get it. Their kids get it.
Because our kids
and
are
it
smart.
starts to shift things. Pretty quick, some of them.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. So
you're going to be tapping into some of this Thursday night. Next Thursday night, we have our love shops. And that's something that you don't have to come to the whole quickening for. You can just come to the 7 to 9 o'clock. It's $25. You can bring, again, we are having it just for women that night. But if you come, bring your sister, bring your mother, bring your friend, so that I think it's great too to have that conversation after. If you're only coming to that night, it's nice not to feel like you can come just by yourself, but it's nice to be able to have somebody to talk about that with, to debrief. Right. I call it debriefing.
Yeah,
with.
absolutely.
Right? So you're welcome to come. If you can't come to the whole 3 days, come Thursday night, come to your love shop, and what are they really going to come there with, and what are they going to learn in just 2 hours? I mean, what are they going to leave with?
They're going to leave with the three things that every relationship needs in order to stop the drama, in order to understand. You're going to go with a tool. We're going to be doing a little bit of writing. You're going to take an assessment. It's not going to, you're not going to have to share a lot of stuff with everybody if you don't want to. But you're going to learn a foundational tool that, like I said, everybody deals with in every relationship. That you just don't know. Well, and it's going to be fun. We've got incredible PowerPoints. And we're about experiencing. We're not just about talking. Also, I want you to know that Friday night at the concert, at the recovery concert, David and I will be there. We're going to have a booth there. So since that Friday night is for all families, you can bring a husband or a boyfriend or a guy, whatever, and we'll be there. We can chat if you have any questions, or if you want to. Yeah,
that's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, because that's what's happening too. So Thursday night we have the love shops, and then Friday night we also have, again, we've opened it up. The reason we've done all that is because we want the women to. What we found is you come into these spaces, these safe spaces, you have perception changes. You've actually changed. You've literally changed something in you, and it's sometimes hard to integrate into life, into your family system or your societal system. And so what I'm hearing you say is, in your love shop, you're going to help women figure out how to kind of move into that and see a system to some degree. And then we're opening up to the concert to have people come in so that you're automatically integrated into the real world. I mean, really, that's a part of why we're doing it. And we're going to have vendors there that are very, we're having specific vendors. So we're not just having anyone. We're having people like Peggy, and so you can come and chat and do that while you're there. So I love that. Great. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to end with?
Well, I was thinking, I was thinking about this morning, about how we say a lot that relationships are the most important thing, right? But how many of us really take action until it's in crisis?
No, that's a good point.
Sometimes we do this with our bodies too. It's kind of like, oh, I know I need to lose weight. Oh, I know I need to get on a different eating habit. So I know I need to go work out. I'm not exactly sure how to jumpstart it and make it happen. It's, what can I do? And so there's all these tools out there to help you figure out how to do that. There aren't as many tools in the relationship arena, but that's what we do. We make it easier for you to actually put your money where your mouth is, what you really believe in. Let's work on it. Without having to do months and years of therapy, we can shorten that a lot.
I think that's what's happening in the days nowadays, is people are able to accelerate their healing.
Oh,
really?
Sure.
That's what's going on. It doesn't have to take years and years and years to get something.
Right.
So you're doing that. You're
helping
do that.
let's come and really do something.
Come to Peggy's beautiful house. Just kidding. It's actually going to be in Salt Lake, you guys. So thank you so much, Peggy, for doing that. We'll put your website, Becoming One, and also the link to the Quickening and their workshops, so you guys can check that out. And we're so grateful you hung out with us. We'll be sharing this. If you'd like to share this, you just go down and share this on your page, or if there's some groups that you think that could benefit from this. And we're just grateful for you.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. Chris, I hear what you're saying, struggling with integrating.
Oh, I didn't even see
That's a big piece, yeah. And we deal with, we talk about that. That's super important is integration. Thanks, Deanna. You're smart, beautiful one. Amen.
Deanna's very
Amen.
sweet.
Let's
Deanna's
make the world
very,
a better place. It's going to start with us. Yeah.
I know. Well,
Thanks,
Chris,
everybody.
Yeah, definitely. That's part of what we're doing at the Quickening is
Yeah.
integrating. We're wanting to do that. We're bringing people in that do that. So yes.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
All
Thanks,
right,
Peggy, for
thanks.
hanging out.
All
So
right.
fun. I wish we could sit on here for 2 more hours and just talk.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.